In the busy world today, it is often quite difficult to look outside of our daily roles. Modern life can be so complicated that it starts to take over and we go on autopilot. We deal with issues ranging from our social relationships to practical problems like finding the money to pay bills and to put food on the table. If you're like me, you may even add the pressure of worrying about your child's performance at school and how they're going to get along with other kids socially. The question I'd like to ask of you today is, how important are these things in the big picture? How much longer can we say that we're concerned about the future of our children while ignoring the damage we do to the earth? My name is Dan, and today I'm going to talk about global climate change, why it is important to me and why it should be important to you. I've spoken with many people on this subject to find out what people know. Oftentimes I've found that people really don't quite know what it is. They have ideas, but they get mixed up between the hole in the ozone layer and greenhouse gases. I've found that these misunderstandings are really quite common, more than you might think. So first I want to talk about what global climate change is. Global climate change is the gradual increase of the average temperature on our planet over time. According to globalstatistics.org, in the past 100 years, the average temperature of our planet has increased by about 1 degree Fahrenheit. That doesn't really sound like a lot, does it? So, you might ask, for such a small change, what effect does that have? Well, based on information on NASA's website, the global sea level has risen about 6.5 inches in the past 100 years, but the rate at which it's rising is increasing. At the current rate of increase, that figure will roughly double over the next 100 years. That puts it at over a 1 foot increase in total global sea level. The rise in these sea levels are mainly due to large quantities of glaciers and sea ice melting around the globe. Again, according to information from NASA, somewhere between 72 and 96 cubic miles of ice have been melting each year. If you can picture in your mind an ice cube, then imagine that it's 4.25 miles long, wide and tall. That's roughly how much ice is melting each year just between Antarctica and Greenland. Now we know what global warming is, you might be asking, so what does that have to do with me? Well, the answer could very well be in the greenhouse gas carbon dioxide. According to the famous climatologist Roy Spencer, there are a few causes of the greenhouse effect. These are both water vapour in the air, which accounts for about 90% of the effect, and then a mixture of other gases which account for about 10%. The mixture is mainly made up of carbon dioxide and methane, of which carbon dioxide is the most proportionate one. So we can't really affect the amount of water or methane in the air as they're naturally occurring, but we can impact our addition to carbon dioxide. Let's take a look at a few facts and figures that help paint a picture of what we, as a human race, add to the amount of carbon dioxide in our world. According to information found on the EPA's website, over half the planet's CO2 comes from humans using fossil fuels. The US produces about 1/5 of the world's human-made CO2. Now, that might sound like a lot, but if you think the US only has about 1/20th of the world's population. Along with the increased output of CO2, the rate of temperature increase is also increasing as that rises. Despite knowing this information, many people still refuse to believe that it's possible for our waste to be a major factor. In some ways they may have a point. The temperature of our planet also rises and falls naturally in a cycle. We don't have enough information on the planet's natural temperature cycle over the past millennia to determine with any certainty one theory or another. There is one thing that is clear. The Earth's temperature is rising at a rate that humankind has not previously recorded. This change will have an impact on our civilization in ways that we're just beginning to understand. Is it really worth the risk of not trying to change? Should it really matter that we have proof or not that we are the cause, when the solutions are actually better for our immediate environment and much less wasteful? If you happen to agree, there are things that we can do about it, things that we can do today. There are a great many ways little ways which can add up to make a huge difference. We can reduce our energy consumption by using CFL light bulbs, Energy Star appliances, or even doing simple things like turning off lights when they're not needed or unplugging appliances when they're not in use. We can also recycle more. Recycling reducing waste leads to less creation of more waste products and processing few resources to create new products. We can waste less energy by adding insulation to our homes. We can also try to buy recycled products that are being made. For those of you that need a different motive to recycle, try to think about it this way. Most of the materials recycled in the US get converted into products here, domestically. This creates valuable and much needed jobs in this fragile economy. As Gandhi said, you need to be the change you wish to see in the world. Think about that for a minute. Whether you believe in global climate change or not, changing all or even just a few of our daily habits can not only reduce our footprint on the world, but can save us a lot of money at the same time. Let's teach those that follow in our footsteps to be less wasteful and more appreciative of the wonders of the world that surrounds us. That's all I had today. That was my speech on global climate change. I hope you enjoyed it.